Yeah, Windy Bill here. Today we're at the Shadow Mountain Mining Complex. This is out in the Kingston Range. It's definitely out in the middle of nowhere. It was a small four-wheel drive type Jeep road. A lot of soft sand, narrow road. That's the shaft they was mining out of. And if you notice, it's got a ladder. And it's got a grate covering the opening. This needs to get re-protected. You protect it for the safety of people, but also you don't want all this dirt and junk and stuff washing down inside the shaft. So it needs to have a little drainage cut around it, and that needs to get covered up. But if you look at that ladder and that grating or covering it is unlocked and hinges open. They got some really good solid safety cables running down that ladder, so it appears somebody is actually coming out here and still working this mine a little bit. And that's going to be an office I'm going to figure out. Looks like an office. And this was all they're operating. This was probably the hoist room. At one time they probably had a good sized tower above this head frame. And they'd bring the ore out in buckets, like 55-gallon drums or carts, depending how they were set up. But all this is where everything was bolted down. You know, you have to stop and think. We are definitely out in the middle of nowhere. Got snow-covered mountains there. You come around. I know on a GoPro, because it shoots pretty wide angle, it's hard to see, but there's mines all around us up in these hills. And they probably brought a lot of it here. And they got some separation tanks and settling tanks for the ore. You know, when they built this stuff, gotta think how they brought this stuff here. What was the size of that piece of timber? And that motor mounting area. You know, we think, oh, yeah, just a couple of semi-trucks. Well, back when they built this, a pretty good sized semi-truck would be equivalent to a Ford 450, F450 with a fifth wheel trailer. And that would still be considered something extravagantly big in compared to what they was using. Okay, I'm going to walk up here. Just to see what we can see. Here's a porch. Doorway was probably right there, went in. A slab. And they had a pipe coming up. Another slab. Sorry, it's kind of really cold and windy today. And it looks like up here we had some more. You know, there's not a lot left of it. A lot of tin from the tin covered buildings. And a lot of these smaller ones could have been the miners' living quarters. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7, possibly 8. Oh, the sun feels good. 9. So all in all, for its time period, this was a pretty good size operation. Looks like they did some digging up there also, up on the side of that hill. We have a intact building. Okay. Light's not real good, but that was probably their living quarters. Okay, found a claim marker. And it's Shadow Mountain. So Shadow Mountain Mine. I opened it up and it's empty. So somebody beat me to this and took the paperwork and kept it. And you can tell it has silver tape on a stake and a secure box on the side down here. Okay, it's all back in, it's all secure again. So I'm going to look for other ones while I'm out here. PVC pipe wasn't that old, so that means this is still an active claim. Doesn't take a lot of money to keep an active claim. You have to do, I don't know what it is now. When I was a kid it was 300, then I heard it went up to 500. It's probably more than that now, of assessment work. And it doesn't take long to build up that much cost. You know, come out, grade the road a little bit, work around the property. We know they're going down in that shaft and working. Here's another building, probably one of the little mining quarters. Can you imagine living here? Your closest little town would be Nipton. And look at the pile of waste rock. Now take that pile of waste rock and probably divide it into 8 foot by 8 foot by 10 foot cubes. And you can kind of figure you'd probably have a couple of hundred cubes or more, 500 or 600 cubes, and that's how deep it is. Okay, we're going to keep exploring, keep looking. I will bring you back on if I find anything more interesting to record. But like I said, this is the Shadow Mountain Mining Complex. Okay, this is as close as I'm going to get to it because I don't know what's under it. But if you look really close, see where the ladder drops down at the entrance there. If you look behind the ladder, you see those silver shackles. Those are hooked to cables. One cable on each side, and it runs down the whole length of the ladder. So yes, this is active. Kind of a different view of the mill complex and hoist house. We're standing on gravel, but look at that side of that shaft. That's solid rock right there. All right. Come back to you when I find more.